morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, that was much better. Okay, my name is 𝗕𝗲𝗻𝗄. On behalf of 𝗥𝗶𝘁𝗃, Unifor, StatBeans, One Point Solution, and UBS Forum, I welcome you all for this exclusive conference on our 10th edition BPO Innovation and Summit. We have been doing this conference majorly in two cities, Mumbai and Bangalore. So we started with Mumbai, then we had this lockdown phase, we did virtual few of the editions, now we are in Bangalore. Okay, now, as you all know, the new normal is acting as a catalyst for the rapid transformation of traditional BPO model. It is shining a light on how flexible outsourcing partners have been with their clients when conditions range or change rapidly and how far along the digital journey they have ventured. When outsourcing lacks preparedness and flexibility, customers may choose to end the relationship and perhaps take the work back in-house. Equally, there will be cases where providers are lauded for their practical approach. How BPOs respond beyond the immediate crisis will determine the winners and losers in the future, and whether the industry as a whole thrives or not. With this note, let me introduce our keynote speaker for the day. Gurcharan Singh, who is the head of transformation with Wipro Limited. To give you a background, he has more than 30 years of experience with expertise in IT infrastructure, application maintenance, services, quality operation, channel management, and security. Can we welcome him with a big round of applause, please?
Good morning. Is this fine? Thank you so much. So thank you so much UBS Forum for giving me this opportunity for talking to you all and learning from you all during this entire day. And today I am here to share with you some of my experiences and some of the studies which I have done, right, in the past few months. And I played various roles, as he mentioned. So to start with, I'm very sure that all of you are aware about 4P approach, right? Everybody would have learned during your journey of this career, people, processes, right, products or the tools, and the partners. Can anyone tell me, out of these four, which one is the most critical one? Just raise your hand. People, excellent. You see, I was just talking to a few people outside, and during that discussion only it came out, and I thought I will start my presentation with that particular aspect. Out of all the species in this universe, human beings are the most privileged one. The most privileges are given to the human beings. And when you have more privileges, then it comes with more responsibility, more accountability. And that is something I think over a period of time, many of us are lacking. And that is why, Russia and Ukraine war, it is still happening. It looks like we are again 1,000 years back, fighting with each other, right, with the new technologies, right? When you play on the video games, hitting each other, the same way they are hitting the tanks, people, and civilians, etc. Very sad part of that. I hope, we will learn from all these mistakes. And with this presentation, we know that information security, right, which is the main subject here, there are three aspects which are very, very critical. One is the confidentiality, second is about the integrity, and third is availability, right? Confidentiality, all about the information is available only to the authorized, concerned, interested parties. Integrity is all about the information is accurate and complete in all aspects. Availability is only to the authorized people, the information should be available. Now, if you look at these three things which are there, which is in the form of triangle, sometimes it is shown. Now, actually this physical triangle is not there, right? All the sides lines are gone. It's all virtual world, right? And what is happening is, if you look at information security and the cyber security, right? These are the two words which confuses the people sometimes, but people who are in the industry right long, so they know that when it comes to information security, it is about even the physical form along with the electronic form. So information security is a bigger umbrella, right? And the cyber security is very specific to the electronic media which is there, and we have cloud computing, we have our physical servers, data centers, and those parameters within which the security is more relevant, right? So with this, when I was doing some study, and the reports of Gartner, BlackBerry, DNV, and Forbes, right? So what I found, there are 7 top trends which are prevailing in 22. Which are those 7 trends? Surface expansion attack. What does it mean? People have started working from home, right? After COVID, it became much more significant. Even about 20 years back, people had laptops, but only very senior people who were given the laptops. Over a period of time, laptops were provided even to the junior resources in the organization, because laptop and desktop, the price difference was very, very less, right? And there was a flexibility that people could even work from home when they go back to home. Okay, that is extra hours they were supposed to spend on laptop, but they were very happy that I have laptop with me, and in that they were contributing more to the organizations, right? Then third phase came in, where people started asking for these options. Somebody is going for a long leave, or some other factors could have been there. I had broken my spine and I worked for from home for a very long period. So like that, COVID made it mandatory, right? There were certain kind of fear factors, etc., right? Security issues, due to which organizations were not taking the decision. But thanks to COVID, right, it made it possible that even more than 95% of the employees can still work from home, and they are working. So surface expansion, when it comes, in February 22, there was an incident in Florida where one of the unknown hacker tried to, not even tried, he was successful to get access to the systems which were there for the treatment of the water. And that person tried to increase the quantity of the sulfur hydroxide in the water, which could have been very, very dangerous to the drinking water. Fortunately, it was identified by one of the operators, and that risk was avoided. So there is a physical system in place, water treatment plant, and there is a cyber specific technology which is helping this. So this is going to become more and more popular with the vehicles which are now fitted with all the technologies. We know that with every technology, as it is growing, the risk factor is also in the same proportion getting increased. So it is very, very important for us to look at holistically when we are doing the risk assessment. Second is about identity system defense. So most of the people who are accessing their system nowadays, the trend is that we have multi-factor authentication. So when I put my password in the laptop, then there is also an OTP which is received. That is called multifunction authentication. So it is becoming more and more prevalent now and becoming more popular. But this is not the only solution. There are more solutions to be explored. So because most of the attacks have happened in the past by hijacking or by taking the control of those personal identities. Then third one is digital supply chain. More and more outsourcing of the business and the technology which is happening. While it is good for the overall business, it also again comes with more and more risk, where the supplier needs to be more controlled on the security and regulations. At the same time, the customer who is giving the contractual agreement signing with the suppliers, they also need to be having that confidence that this supplier ensure that each and every information will be secured. Vendor consolidation. What is happening is that over a period of time, number of tools are increasing significantly. And when number of tools are increasing, the complexity also increases. So now there is a consolidation phase, and it's a continuous process. So organizations are looking at how they can provide the orders only to very, very few vendors who can give them integrated solution rather than multiple vendors and multiple tools being there. So that is all about vendor consolidation, which will definitely take some more time to stabilize, and also there will be challenges related to how do you negotiate with those vendors, because they will take advantage of these new technologies and the consolidation with the higher price. Then is cyber security mesh. So we spoke about physical and the cyber kind of platforms which are available, right? So there are clouds, there are data centers, and we need to identify and find that how the cyber security mesh can prioritize the security controls to be established on the clouds, on the data centers, and the perimeters within which your technology is deployed. So this prioritization is very important, because you cannot simply implement these solutions everywhere. Then distributed decisions. In the past, what was happening is quality, information security, it was the function which was given the responsibility that quality is to be owned by the quality function, right? Delivery is their own world. Similarly, information security, it is the responsibility of a CISO. This is going to get changed, and it is changing. Security and the quality is the responsibility of each and every individual in the organization, and they cannot be separated, right? Look at any mobile phone which is getting manufactured, iPhone, right? So when the product comes out, the quality is integrated into it. The same way in the services also, it has to be like that, but the maturity is still to come. Beyond awareness. Gone are the days where you will be just dependent on training your people. We must look at effectiveness of those trainings. And ISO is talking about this effectiveness of the trainings since long. But very few organizations are able to establish this particular evidence that how good and effective their trainings are. It is all about cultural change. It is all about changing your habits. Because, as everybody mentioned, people is the most important factor. You may have good technology, you may have good tools in place, right? You may have wonderful processes. But if your people are not ethical, all this will go for toss. So ultimately, everything is dependent on people. So we must look into this aspect, that how do we change the behavior of the people, how do we change the culture of the organization, and our value system becomes more and more stronger. And this is the most toughest part to be done. Look at yourself as an individual. We struggle to control our anger. We struggle to control our desires. So it's a continuous process. So same way, the habits and the culture, they don't change overnight, but they can be changed. Now, that is what about beyond awareness. And now let us look at some of the key data points which I took from the internet with the help of various studies. So 60% of the employees today are working from home approximately. And studies say that out of this, 20% will not come back to office. Today, when employees are looking for new jobs, they are negotiating with the organizations that do you have the option for working from home or not. So that has become one of the mandatory factors now, right? Then if they are working from home, obviously your security controls goes beyond those parameters that I spoke in the beginning, right? It is not now limited to the organization's concrete walls. It is just have no boundaries in fact, right? Misuse of credentials is now primary method that attackers use to access system. I have already covered this point. By 25, study says that 45% of organizations worldwide will experience attack on the software supply chain, and it is 3 times more than what happened in 21. 3 times more. So look at how the information security, cyber security, they have to scale up. They have to become more flexible to implement these solutions, right? Human errors continue to feature in most of the data breaches. Cyber attacks related to third parties are increasing. So that is where the BPO industries, they have to become very, very careful, right? While they taking their contracts, taking the contract is always very easy, right? So it is tough, but sustaining is much more tougher. Now, with all these challenges, all these trends, there are some good news and opportunities also there. So what are those opportunities? 58% of the executives plan to expand investment in emerging technologies. What does it mean? That there is an opportunity for the outsourcing. Look at those opportunities. What are those technologies which are emerging? And we know that BPO is not just about, you know, the telecallers, etc. Now, it went into the journey from BPO to KPO, right? And now it is data analytics, artificial intelligence. Everything is going to get outsourced. Look at the manufacturing industries, how it is happening. Most of their suppliers, they supply the critical spare parts to those organizations. Hardly anything is manufactured by Apple. I don't know how many are aware about this. Most of the things are outsourced. It is the quality control which they do. So their main role will be always on the core designing of the products and the services. And then they will try to outsource everything because engineers are becoming very, very expensive. We have stopped hiring engineers actually. Or I will say it has become very, very low in quantity. We are looking for more BCA, BSc, etc. Right? So engineers will be still hired, but only for the critical activities in the organization. That is how the change is happening. Earlier we used to hire, you know, X amount. Now it is 3x, right? So technology services outsourcing expected an annual revenue growth of 8.26% year-on-year basis. That means overall volume of $587 billion by 27. That is the huge opportunity available with us. So what are the strategies after understanding the trends and the challenges which an organization should look at? Faster and agile cybersecurity function, rethink the security technology attacks stack to address sophisticated new threats, pushing the cybersecurity decision to decentralization. Don't take those decisions only at the central function. Push those decisions to be taken by the functions, by the delivery teams also. Involve them. Evolve and reframe the security practices. Security leaders will look beyond traditional approaches to security monitoring, detection, and response. Now, how it can be done? Some of the practices which I am sharing with you with my own experience, right? Don't look at information security, cyber security alone. Look at enterprise level risk, and that is very important activity. When I say enterprise level risk, look at the functional risk like hire to retire, facilities management, global security, regulatory risk, legal, right, compliance, data privacy, anti-bribery, intellectual property, and regulations specific to the geolocation. Look at the business risk, information security risk, and the financial risk. So it is at the enterprise level risk management which we are doing, not only specific to the IT industry. So this is a framework which is a kind of recommendation based on my experience. First and the foremost thing is the risk identification at the enterprise level. And how do you do the assessment and the treatment of those risks? So these are very detailed subjects which we cannot cover here. Then standard framework for the risk management, people, process, and the technology. Leadership commitment and the communication, budget, and showing the direction to the organization. Then we have audit committee board, governance at the high level. Then we have to develop and deploy the policy framework and risk ownership at the functional and business level. It is not to be just owned by the CISO function. Then there has to be continuous improvement. This is not one-time activity. This activity has to be done on quarterly basis, 6 monthly basis, or annual basis based on the size of your organization. So these are information security controls as suggested and recommended, and they are mandatory as per ISO 27001. Believe me, if you implement these controls with right spirit and control, intent, your organization will be quite secure. But main challenge is about the implementation of these controls. So this is again how to do the enterprise risk management. You have core operations where the maker and checker is same, and then enterprise risk management, internal audit and external audit, it is also in the framework. I'll just take 2 minutes. Last 2 minutes I'm going to spend here. We have our friend Mr. Rajiv Panikar sitting behind. Please raise your hand. He is from DNV. He has contributed significantly for the new framework which is there and just to be launched. It was supposed to be launched in the month of October, but I think some delay has happened. So this is called Supply Chain Security, SCS 9001, the first ICT, that is the Information and Communication Technology, specific standard for the global supply security. People want more information. He is available with us here. During the break, we can talk to him, and it has got lot to talk about, zero level of trust policy framework, right? And some other best practices, so which are mentioned here. So with this, I'll just stop here, and thank you so much for your time. If you have any questions, I can answer them maybe during the tea time, because I think that we don't have much time now, right? Thank you so much.